What's up? Hey, hey. It is the first Friday of the new year. Happy Friday, y'all. I am excited to be here today. Y'all, it is a cold one, but we're going to get started. So I normally talk loud. I have my heater on today. I am going to speak as loud as I can so that we can get through today's topic. If you are new to my page, welcome. I'm Anjanika Brooks, and I'm also known as the Unmothered Coach. I'm the author of this book. The book is called Unmothered, A Daughter's Guide to Acceptance, Healing, and Renewal. All right, so I am a personal life coach, and I help women who've had difficult relationships with their mothers and lost their mothers overcome emotional trauma, find their voice, reclaim their power so they can have the lives they deserve. So today's topic is becoming the woman of your dreams. And I basically just want to kick this new year off right. This is how I'm coming. And so I want to talk about some of the benefits of healing. And that's what this topic really is. And so if you want to become the woman of your dreams, who you've always wanted to be, or, reach the heights that you have set for yourself, then obviously it's going to take some work. Nothing is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. So we're going to talk about how to get there today. All right. And I promise I'm here, and so if you have questions, you can comment, you can DM. I love to have a good conversation. So let's jump in. So how do you become the woman of your own dreams? I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I think that it's appropriate because that's what we should be. We should be who we want to be. But for many of us, especially when you're unmothered, when you haven't had the relationship and the foundation with your mother that you wanted, that you thought you were going to have, it can set you back. It can cause a lot of fear and stress and worry in your mind. It can cause you to be uncertain about yourself. And so, therefore, you have low self-esteem. You have hesitancy when it comes to doing what you want to do because you just don't believe that you can do it a lot of the time. And that's because you haven't had your mother to pour into you, to love you, to support you unconditionally. And so you just really don't know what that looks like. And on your own, it might, be nerve-wracking or scary to try new things or to try to excel or elevate to where you want to go because you know that your mama used to be the one there rooting against you, and maybe other people are in that same boat, or at least that's what you think. And so we need to talk about some strategies to help you become the woman you want to be, the woman of your dreams. Because it's 2024, these years keep going, they keep going faster and faster. It's no time to waste. So let's jump in. So the first thing you need to do is to understand how to handle the mommy issues that you're having. You have to handle them. You can't act like you don't have them because they are the very thing that's holding you back. And I know it may not, seem like it. It may not be evident, but I have lived it and I have done the research and I have seen it unfolding like all around. There are so many of us struggling with these difficult relationships with our mothers and suffering because of it. And so first and foremost is you have to handle your mommy issues. And one of the first things you need to do is understand that your mother wasn't necessarily right about you. She probably taught you a lot of things, said a lot of things to you, many of them negative, discouraged you, mistreated you, said you weren't going to amount to anything, or told you all about yourself, or said that you couldn't come back from this or that mistake. There can be a lot of negativity when you grow up like this. And it becomes, it gets instilled in you. It becomes like a part of you almost because you're so used to hearing it. And so it takes deprogramming yourself and unlearning those things. So those limiting beliefs that she put on you, the behaviors that she modeled for you that weren't good, you have to unlearn that stuff. And that takes being on a healing journey and saying to yourself, okay, my mama was wrong. She was wrong. No matter how much I loved her and no matter how much I wanted things to work out, she was wrong about me. And this is, what she forecasted or what she foretold is not who I am and not who I'm going to be. And even if you did go through mistakes, forgive yourself, which is one of the steps we're going to talk about so that you can move on. But you got to start by knowing you got to handle those mommy issues. They're not going to go away. You have to deal with them. And you can begin by saying, okay, she was wrong. She was wrong. And you don't set out to prove her wrong. You set out to do the things that you want to do. You set out to reach your dreams. You're just acknowledging the fact that what she said does not have a hold on you so that you can mentally be free. Okay, so that's what this first step is. And so then the second thing you need to do is realize that she had her life. So a lot of the times when we have these, these selfish mothers, these mean mothers, these mothers that can't love us right or don't want to, or that are lazy or toxic, whatever we want to call it, we tend to take on a lot of the things that they've gone through. And they have gone through things, a lot of times traumatic. But that doesn't mean we have to take on that trauma. That doesn't mean that we have to continue that cycle. This is where we break the cycle. And so she had her life. This life is yours. It's your turn. It's your turn. And so stop comparing your life to what she did, even if you do see similarities. Understand that right now at this moment you get to be different. This is your life. You are in control. Okay? And, if your mother, like me, your mother's not here, she's gone, she's passed away, it can still be a problem. But I'm walking you through the steps of healing. Even if you lost your mother and it seems like, you're completely lost yourself, you can still change your mindset and make things like new. Okay? So, first, understand that your mother was wrong about you. Second, understand that that was her life and this is your life. You are in control. You get to do what you want to do. And then put some respect on the healing journey. I know we talk about healing and throw the word around a lot, but you got to put some respect on that thing because that is where many of us have to start. We have to start with healing ourselves before we can even envision and embrace what is there for us and before we can step into the woman that we're going to be. We have to be on that healing journey because the healing journey is going to teach you to acknowledge whatever happened and to stop running, to come out of denial, to call a spade, to understand that if you don't say what it is, it's going to be very hard to fix it. So the healing journey helps you do that. Your mindset is different because you're ready for change. And so you can acknowledge the trauma. You can accept who your mother was and know that it just didn't work out like you thought it was going to, but you are not going to dwell on it because if you dwell on it, you can't move forward. It's going to help you to work on forgiving her because you need to free that headspace up. You need to stop reliving it and holding the anger and hoping for some kind of crazy revenge that you can't get and let it go. And then you also need to forgive yourself and mostly yourself. You have to forgive yourself and let go of the shame of not having the mother that you were supposed to have. Let go of the shame of the mistakes that were made. Many of us became different women. There were different versions of us that came before the one that we are right now. And those versions were created so that we could get here. Who we were and what we did isn't who we have to be going forward. So if you are not happy with the way things happened or who you had to be in order to survive, then, hey, I'm in the same boat. I understand. I feel that. But that doesn't mean you can't rise from there. That doesn't mean you can't be different. That doesn't mean you can't aspire to be greater or better or do something else. Okay, so you have to really focus the lens on yourself and work on that self-forgiveness piece. It is huge. Because sometimes we will more easily forgive others than ourselves. But today I'm talking about getting on the healing journey that's going to lead you to becoming the woman of your dreams. And so that is very key. And once you do that, you are ready to walk into renewal, which means you understand that you can take charge of your life right now. And so remember if you joined me last year for that last live that I did in December, I talked about why you shouldn't set healing goals for 2024, but instead you should focus on what you want your life to look like, where you want to go, how you want to live, and that's how you focus your goals. That's how you arrange your goals around those things, rather than saying I'm going to be healed, by April or whatever, because that's not how this thing works. And so when you do that and you begin to look at your life and the direction you want it to go, then you have control. You have control. You can set a bar and you can get there. You just have to put the steps in place to do it. And so I'm talking about taking over right now and actually saying what your dreams are, actually saying what you want, actually saying how you want to be, and going for it. And then after you do that, you set your intentions, you know what you want, you're going to go for the thing, then you got to work on yourself in order to get there. And so you have to love and empower yourself, because that is the huge missing piece. The really core of a mother-daughter relationship should be love, and it should be support, and it should be trust. But when you don't have that, what do? You grow up, because we're here, but sometimes you don't grow up in a good way. You experience a lot of hardships. You go through a lot of trauma. Unnecessary things happen to you because you don't have that mother to help you, to protect you. And so since we have been unprotected, we spend a lot of time trying to shield ourselves, trying to, protect ourselves from others, keep ourselves from rejection. We're people pleasing because we don't want to feel bad and we don't want to make other people dislike us. We're doing a lot of things, but we are not being ourselves. We're not being true to ourselves, and we're not being real. And so the thing you have to do when you set your sights on leveling up is to love yourself. Give yourself the goods. The things that you didn't get, you got to do it for yourself. You can't go looking for somebody else to do it. Now, God will send you mothers. He will send you others that can stand in. He will send you aunties and friends that you will be able to discern if they're good for you or not. But He will send you those that will help bring you along if you open your heart. But I'm talking about loving yourself, the self part. The work where you look at who you are and you are content. Meaning you're not tearing yourself down. Meaning you know how to speak to yourself in positivity. Even if you want to change something. It doesn't mean that you're perfect, because none of us are. We all have flaws. What it means is that you embrace your flaws. And if there is something that you want to work on, then you say, okay, I'm going to work on that. I want to speak better. So I'm going to find a course on speaking, or I'm going to join Toastmasters or something like that. And I'm going to learn how to articulate and how to speak, because that's a problem that I have. Or I'm going to learn how not to be a people pleaser, because it's doing harm to me. Even though I feel like, everybody's happy and people like me, it's doing harm to me because I don't feel good when I'm a yes woman. And so these are things that you can work on, but approach it all in love. Love yourself, even the flaws, even the things that you might want to change. And so you have to do it because we've spent so much time taking the negativity from our mothers, listening to, her tear us down, taking it in that, I can't do anything, I'm not going to be able to excel. And so now we have to flip the script. Now we have to unlearn that behavior and get rid of those limiting beliefs, and even learn to like ourselves. Love and like ourselves. Okay, I say this all the time. My mother spent a lot of time talking about my complexion and how dark I was. I don't have a problem with my complexion. People are all different shades. And so what could possibly be wrong with how you are? And that's how I talk to myself. I don't call myself black, like she used to. I don't see it as something negative. You are what you are. And we are each beautiful. And so that's how you have to talk to yourself and come at this thing if you're going to become the woman of your dreams. It starts in the mind. It starts with the positivity and reversing and unlearning the things that we were taught and told. And so you have to do that and give yourself permission to be happy, permission to excel. And so what do I mean by that? You deserve good stuff. You deserve good things. And it is time for us to claim it. Life is not supposed to be misery. I know that we go through things, and we are going to go through things. We can't stop that. But it's not supposed to be all misery. And in order for us to change the trajectory, it takes some work. And it takes self-talk. And it is harder to make the changes when it's positive stuff than it is when it's negative. For some reason, the negative stuff easily gets in there. You don't have to code it deeply. You don't have to do much. It will seep right in your head. And you will start working in a negative way. Positive thoughts take more work. I don't know why. But do the work. If it's affirmations, speak over yourself. If it's scriptures, read the Bible. Get some positivity going and begin to see yourself in a more loving and positive way. Because it will make a difference in how you move. It will make a difference in the decisions that you make. And so you have to let yourself know that you deserve good stuff. You deserve good relationships. All relationships are not supposed to be toxic and strife and bickering and fighting. And so maybe we, as those that have been unmothered, we have to learn how to be in relationships with people because we weren't taught and it wasn't modeled. That's okay. Give yourself time. If you need support, get in therapy, get in groups, find good friends that will listen. But give yourself time. But you deserve good relationships, good love. You deserve good sex, good thoughts, good experiences, and less anxiety. You deserve to live out your dreams. But you can't do that if you have the things that your mother said playing in your head. If you have the things, all the negative things of the world constantly on repeat. So I am talking about improving yourself through yourself. So, and it's going to start with you. It has to start with you because it doesn't matter what anybody else pours into you if you don't believe in yourself. And so if you are truly going to body this thing and get to where you want to go, you got to be on board and be your first supporter, your first lover of yourself. You have to love yourself. And I know we don't hear it a lot and it sounds selfish, but you got to do it. You have to do it. I'm not talking about acting like you're better than anyone. I'm talking about affirming and building yourself up. And that will actually show you how to communicate and how to treat other people, how you want to be treated. Because you know what that is now. You know what feels good and what doesn't. And so, because you deserve those good things, we're going to work on building confidence and finding your voice. Because for so long, we have been silenced. We have, been taking a back seat to everybody else. And I know it was partly protection, but you got to put some skin in the game. You have to take some risks to get what you want. You're going to have to come out of hiding. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be frivolous and you're going to be careless with your heart and with your feelings. I'm just saying recognize that you've been in protection and like shelter in place mode because of being unmothered, because of those experiences. And so now you got to get on that healing journey and begin to repair yourself. So the way to work on self-confidence, I'm going to give you 5 things that I think will help you. And so the first thing is you're going to have to know your worth. Know your worth. And it takes work because if you had a mother like mine, you did not feel worthy. You felt worthless sometimes just because of the things she would say to you, or just because of, how she would be like laughing at, whatever things you were trying to do. I remember when I said I wanted a new house, and she was like, that she was very negative, and she was like, just be careful, just know what you're doing, because if you don't, then this, that, and the other, like all this list of negative things could happen. And I suppose it was true, but that wasn't what I needed to hear. And so you have to know your worth when you've been talked to a certain way, and when you've been told that you aren't going to do anything, or when you've made mistakes and she's laughed in your face or said, see, I told you so. So you have to learn that you are worthy no matter what. It doesn't matter the mistakes that were made. And so just like God forgives you, you got to forgive yourself. So you are worthy. And then the next thing you have to work on is your self-esteem. Like taking those steps and trying things and saying, okay, even if I fail, I'm going to do it. Because failure can be a good teacher. So don't necessarily be afraid of falling on your face or, not achieving something right off the bat. It's okay. Just because you can't do it yet doesn't mean you won't be able to do it. I used to tell my kids this when they were little. Say that I can't do it yet. If you're going to say I can't do this, add yet. I can't do it yet, or I haven't learned it yet. And give yourself that space and room to grow into it so that you can boost your own self-esteem by knowing, okay, I'm going to come at it in a different way. All right? And then the next thing you need to do is make your own decisions. Now, my mother isn't alive, but that doesn't mean that some of the things that she did and said aren't still in my mind. In fact, I had to learn that a lot of the beliefs I had when it came to men and relationships were those of my mother. And so I was making decisions and doing things based on what I saw her do, based on how she would have responded, based on what I knew to be true from growing up with her. And it wasn't working for me. So you have to take charge now and make your own decisions. And, recognize where she has influenced you, where it's not necessarily your thoughts, but hers that are kind of playing out, and try a different route so that you can get in the driver's seat. And then begin to just speak positivity over yourself. I just said it, but I'm going to say it again. It's extremely important, whether it's affirmations. Get yourself some theme music. Get some theme music. That song, I love all kinds of music. And I think the song when I posted this live that I was going live, I used Drake's song, You're the Best I Ever Had. Get some theme music. Get that in your head. And I'm not talking about it from his perspective. I say stuff like this to myself. So you got to pump yourself up. When you want something, when you want to go after something, a little theme music goes a long way. If it's praise music you need, use the praise music, whatever it is. But you've got to start doing those positive things that are going to propel you, going to move you forward. Okay? So speak over yourself. Talk to yourself in love. Give yourself grace. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Give yourself grace when you have fallen down, because we deserve it. Grace and mercy is how we are where we are right now. So you got to know that. And then the last thing I would say is try not to worry so much. I know it's easy to say. I'm a person that also deals with anxiety as well. I don't have it terribly bad, but I do get anxiety, like anybody else. And so there are people that have anxiety disorder, and I understand that is something different. But try not to worry as much. And I know when I turned 40, that was probably when I stopped caring a whole lot about what people thought and about, if they like me or they don't like me. And so some of you out there, you're not 40 yet. And I don't know if that's the magic number or not. I'm going to be 50 this year. And so I really have an attitude about I don't care. But if you're not there yet, you have to understand that what's for you is for you. And it is not going to miss you. If you get your head in the game and get your mind straight and say, okay, this is who I want to become. This is how I want to live. If you do your part, then God is going to deliver the rest for you. You just have to be in alignment. You just have to be where you need to be. Now, if you're sitting on your butt and you got your arms folded up and you mad and you got an attitude and you, woe is me, I don't know if it's going to come and grab you and shake you and, happen for you. I think there's got to be some muscle put behind it, some work. You got to at least have the vision, and you got to want it. So you can't just sit there and think things are going to come. But don't worry over it, because what's for you is for you. And the pathway getting there may not be straight. It could be crooked. It could have some loops. It could be crazy. It could be like a roller coaster. But you will still get there. And so I don't want you to let the worry, grab you by the throat and stop you and hold you back. And so that's why I'm saying, don't worry. It's all in His hands. You don't have to fret. All you have to do is get it in your mind that you want to be different. Get in your mind what you want. And that may evolve. That may change as you go along. You may figure out, okay, I don't want to, be at this level. I want to be here. Or I want to, go over here and do that. That may be the case. But just know that it is possible. And you do not have to stress and hold yourself back with fear. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. So that's basically in a nutshell. That's it. That's the talk today. Becoming the woman of your dreams starts with you. It starts with your mindset, understanding that you deserve better, getting on a healing journey. Because for many of us, we are still wrapped up in our mother's world and in her thoughts and in the things she told us and in all those limiting beliefs that she sold us. And so in order to get out from under that, you need to take the time and go through the healing steps. And that would be acknowledging the trauma, accepting who your mother was, forgiving her, grieving that whole relationship, and moving into renewal. And in the renewal phase is where you work on you. You work on identifying with yourself, increasing your self-worth, increasing your self-esteem, and that in turn raises your self-confidence. And when your confidence is high, you will know your worth. You'll be able to make your own decisions. You can speak positively over yourself, and you won't worry so much. Okay? And then the dreams that you have, who it is that you want to become, will be yours. All right? So that is my chat for today. I hope that you take some nuggets away from here. Hope that there's something that will help you. I am going to make an announcement when the course opens back up, because I did put it up on my website that the digital course was going to open back up January. And so I'm working feverishly trying to get it up next week, but I will make an announcement when it is available. As always, you can DM me, you can get on my calendar if you want to schedule a free consultation, and one-to-one coaching is open. All right, well, I hope y'all have a great Friday. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope y'all have a great Friday. If you're in the Northeast, please be safe. There's a snowstorm coming, so be safe, guys, and I love you. I will see you next week. Bye. Bye.